So now that I've done the unboxing, everything is ready to start. I'm about to do my first assignment and I want you to see my setup. Check it out. I'm all set up for success. I have my foils, I have my stabilizer, bridge, the developer, towel, cape, bowl, comb, whisk, brush, gloves, clips, and also a key to open up the color when needed. And of course my powder, my book, my beautiful mannequin. Look at her, ain't she cute? She's just ready for you. And of course the amazing level finder, right? So here we go. Let's get it started. Now we're going to find the level, and the level finder is how you're going to find the level. We're going to take this hair, and I'm literally going to take a piece of it and take it as close to the color that I think it matches, right? It's here. I'm blending with a level 5. Level 6 is too bright, and level 4 is just a bit darker. So I'm going to go with a level 5. Okay? I'm going to blend it at a level 5. Now that the hair has been shampooed, I'm going to take the bridge and I'm going to saturate the hair and protect it before the service. And I'm going to make sure I take my wide tooth comb and I'm going to go ahead and evenly disperse it throughout the hair. This will protect the hair. This will help the hair receive the lightening service properly with even tone and even lift. Okay, and it also helps the cuticle and the bonds in the hair. So now that the bridge has been applied, you allow the hair to dry. Okay, so here I have 2 ounces of the developer right here in my beaker. I don't have a automatic mixer, but I do have 2 ounces of my 20 volume developer that I'm going to pour into my bowl. Okay, so you want to put the developer in first so the lightener does not stick to the bottom of the bowl, like so. So when you mix color or lightener with developer with a brush, it is not a good mix. So what happens is the products get stuck in there, and then while you're processing and applying, there are going to be some uneven mixtures inside the bristle. And also you want to take good care of your tools because it could make them a little frayed, and then it's not a good mix. Okay, that's not a good mix either. So I'm going to keep mixing until this gets nice and creamy. So it will swell. You want to make sure you get it nice and creamy. You don't want to have any residue of powder, lumps, bumps, or clumps, right? No lumps, bumps, no clumps. No lumps, no bumps, no clumps. I like to have a good time. So anyway, here you go. Boom, nice and creamy. Nice and thick, nice and creamy. And it's not watery and wet. I like that. Ooh, it's so pretty. I love it. As you can see, I'm just mixing. I'm not doing like whip, 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 like eggs, right? I'm just mixing at a nice consistency, a nice pace, and then just making sure everything is nice and creamy, okay? So this takes a little time, not much, but you want to make sure you don't see any bumps. Now, I like to do with the whisk, I like to turn it like this. This is me. Then I'll go around as if it is in a mixing bowl type movement. But you see, I'm not going really fast, okay? I'm just going around, and I'm doing it like this now. If you can't do that, this is just fine, okay? Alrighty. So we're getting those lumps, bumps, and clumps out. And while you're getting the lump, bumps, and clumps out, you can actually go the opposite way. You want to make sure nothing is like powdery on the sides, too much liquid hanging out on the sides, and you want to make sure you do the mixture at a nice pace, not too fast, not too abrupt, not too hasty, right? Take your time, right? And you just mix it, right? Now, if you feel like you want to buy a mixer, that would be a wonderful thing because good tools helps the process go faster. Well, this is just fine, okay? All right, and let's see. You like? I like. I like. So we'll pop that off to the side. Okay. Perfect. Now, we are going to be applying this lightener with foils. So as you go along, you will be parting out about 1/4 of an inch. You don't want it to be too wide. And if the section gets wider around the crest area, which is where the ear is, the largest part of the head, you would subsection, okay? So we're going to go in and put the foils in. Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to do horizontal partings to start our global application. I have my foiling comb, and I've already turned over my foils so the comb will fit nice and snug inside of the comb. All right, so that's the way you're going to put them in, right? You're going to do a horizontal parting about 1/4 of an inch. And then you're going to put it out the way. So we're doing a global application. And we're here. You're going to make sure it's nice and snug underneath. Like so. So you want it to fit as close to the parting as possible. Now let me show you what that looks like. Here you go. Now you go under. Hold it really tight. You got 2 ways to do it. So you can do it like this, and you dab it. You don't go so close to the edge, and you make sure you put enough product so the product will be able to be saturated all throughout the strands of the hair. Don't be afraid to apply the proper amount of product. So you have product on the front and the back of your brush, and you literally spread that hair out so you can get that product to be saturated throughout the strands, or you won't have the proper saturation or the proper lift. So I'm not going all the way to the base because the product does swell and it can go into the base and cause what we call hot roots. And don't be afraid to use product. Get it in there. Let it be nice and saturated, okay? Nice and thick. You want to make sure you close it up. You don't want the air to get to it because it will dry out. You want it to have a great amount of time to saturate and to process. Here you go. You can take your comb on the edges of the section and fold it over. Like so. Never drag or over direct the hair, and never crumple up your foils. Okay? And then you proceed. So by us doing a global application, we will not have any hair left out between the foils. We're going to make sure all the hair is in the foils. The wider the part of the head, the wider the foils. So I do some smaller foils, and I stop right here, like a stopping point. You can also take it and you can take product and put it on your foil first. These are 2 different ways that you can begin to apply the foil. Still, same way, okay? This helps the hair stick to the foil. So, with the larger, wider part of the head, what happens is you need larger and wider foils because you do not want to over extend the hair. You do not want to have it pulling. You want it to be nice and even in the middle of the foil. My preferred application is the first application, but these are two different ways. Make sure you get it in there so the hair can be saturated properly. Don't take it too close to the edge, okay? Make sure you measure your foils out to be the length of the hair, and if the hair is super long, you could actually just lay another piece right on top and make them super long. Okay? Match it up like a puzzle. You can also take the back of your comb and do it like this, or you can take your tail. Either way, fold it nice and neat. Make sure you don't have any product on your hands. If you do, use your towel to wipe it off, okay? Do not make your partings super wide because the foil will not sit as flush up under the hair. You want them to be really fine partings, and you don't want the hair to be so wide and thick that the product doesn't go really nice through when you're applying it onto the hair while it's going in the foil. So fine partings serves you a real great justice, okay? All right, so here you go. And then you get momentum. You start moving it and getting it together, and it just turns out to be a nice rhythm. Get a rhythm. Make sure you get all the product in there. Like I said, the finer the sectioning that you do, the better the saturation. Never mix all your products at one point, at one time for the completed look, because you don't want that product to be sitting in that bowl all that time prior to when you really need it. So just mix as you need it. Mix as you need it, okay? Again, horizontal partings. To save you time, I like to have my foils already pre-folded so I can just go and move it. Just keep it moving, right? Remember, you are in control. You have the control of the foil, the application, and the product on the brush. You have the control. So make sure the application is fully saturated. Really, you don't even want to see any dark hair like peeping through. That's what I say, right? As such, you can kind of see that it's covered. Don't go smushing and squeezing too much. You can, nice and neat, that's fine. But don't squish, don't squeeze, don't pull, drag, different things like that, because you don't want that to happen either. Okay? So you want to hold the hair nice and taut. I literally like push and pull out. Push and pull out. So push in and I pull out, and it brings my foil closer to the section where the parting is. When I push and pull out, it brings it closer. Okay. Try to keep the hair as straight as possible. If the hair is super long, you can swirl a little bit, but try to keep the hair straight as much as possible. Okay. Crease it like that. So I just keep showing you different ways. Here, 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 but make sure you fold it. Now, some people, like I said, prefer to just stack another foil on top, depending on the length and preference. As long as it's closed up and it's not letting the air get to it where it dries out, you don't want that to happen. All right. Make sure everything is nice and smooth and detangled. You don't want it to be super tangled. This was kind of wide, but hey, we'll be okay. All right. Hold it tight. Get a rhythm about yourself. Now, if you have to remix, remix. It's better to remix than to have it just sitting for like, you know, hour application and stuff like that. Remix. Don't ever be afraid to use a little more product. Too thin of a product is not going to allow the hair to process properly, the color or the lightener to process properly. Whether it's color or lightener, you want to have a nice saturated section. Now you can take your hand and do it like this if you want to just fold it over on your own. Fold that foil nice and neat. Right? And have fun. I enjoy foils because I know I'm making a difference. I look forward to seeing the change. That makes my day. There you go. Put it on, push in, pull out, push in, pull out. Dab it. You can hold it, or either once you dab it, it should be good. Put your hand under there. Let's get it started. Let's get it in, right? Make sure you get it all in there. Make sure everything is saturated. Then go ahead and throw another layer on there. So once it starts to process, it won't dry out, because it can dry out in the foil. I've seen that before. If it's not enough here, product, I've seen where it has dried out before. And that's something you don't want to do either. Don't push too much, because you can push the product to the scalp, cause hot roots. You don't want that either. So it's a very dainty, elegant craft, right? And it's also a soft craft. So you don't want to be too harsh when you're putting in the foils. Don't pull the hair too hard. Don't push the foils in too much. And keep a consistent flow, right? Push in, pull out. Dab it. Support it. Reinforce it, right? Get it in there. So, now me, I still see a few dark areas. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I'm in control, right? Folding on the edges of the section. So you don't want to drag, you don't want it to be over directed, you want it to stay straight. The hair. While it's in the foil, that is very important. So this piece is kind of wide to me. I think it's too wide. So don't get too excited like I'm almost done. Go ahead and part it out, section it out. Take that little step, take that next step to get that hair finer than it was. Take the next step. It's okay. Don't make it too thick. It's very important that you really take that into consideration. Push in, pull out. Okay, so I'm literally right at the tip of the ear. Typically, I like to stop whatever I'm doing at the tip of the ear, right here. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to do this next section with the next process. Isn't it beautiful? Look at it. Oh, oh, oh. Now we're going to do the base. I've already remixed, right? Now, when you do the base, this is to go ahead and get that color going, or either the lightener going. I'm gonna lower her a little bit, take it down, and I'm gonna put a piece of cotton there to protect her neck. I'm just gonna put it there, right? As I'm holding it, I got the cotton there. I'm gonna protect her neck. I'm gonna put bing, bing, okay? And then, and make sure you saturate really well. Don't poke. You know, go in there real nice and light. Like I said, you have to be, I just want to have it, you know, to, here, I'll start over. Now I'm going to go in. Don't poke. Don't go in and poke. Make sure you get it heavily saturated. Be really nice and light about it. You can ask the customer, can you lean your head forward? Bang. And since I want to protect the customer from any processing solutions or anything on the neck, I'm going to lay a piece of cotton there, like so, just right up underneath, okay? All right, now here we go. Now we're going to take the next foil down. No pokey pokey. This should lift pretty quick, okay? Because the heat from the scalp will speed up the process, and that's why you don't want the hot root. and let it process properly, but you don't want it to have hot roots. You're going to pull it up a little bit past the line of demarcation. And then you're going to drop it on down. Now, this is a global application, right? Don't lose control. Don't be freaking out, all right? Just get it in there really nice. Okay. Okay. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And again, saturation is very important. Very important. I'm going right at the scalp. This is going to go ahead and go to the scalp on its own. So I don't have to go poking at the scalp, you know, to make sure that it's that close. It's going to swell and go there anyway. And plus you have product that is right above it anyway. So take it, I'm gonna light it up. Don't be afraid, it won't hurt. A little bit past the line of demarcation, just a little bit there. Go in. You are in control. Make sure you get the edges real nice. You don't want a band going across, so make sure you locate where that lightener should be at, because you can take it down not enough and still you'll have like a darker band. So you want to make sure you don't forget to check yourself in, make sure you're sliding it down enough where you can actually meet up with what was underneath the foil. No bands. Put it there. Take it on the side. Make sure you get it in there. You see any areas that's dark? Obviously you don't have any product there, so you gotta lay it on there. Lay and slay. Still going, you see, and we're still going. All right, and so we're gonna keep going. I believe that is the last one. And be very careful of the section above it. Because this really could be a true situation where they just don't want the front done. So I'm take it down. Alright, and now I'm going to show you Okay, so you see, even if a person didn't want this section done, you have to have control. You put it in there, you stop it, and you protect it. I'm going to put a piece of foil there as such, okay? And I don't want it to dry out. I still don't want it to dry out, okay? Okay. Make it down. There's neatness about yourself. All right, okay. And boom. Let it process, okay? Okay, so now we're going to do horizontal partings to start our global application. I have my foiling comb, and I've already turned over my foils so the